All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for ANC3C's Planning, Zoning, Housing, and Economic Development April 2025 committee meeting. We have several items on the agenda this evening, and they go in the order in which we've received notifications of them. So we're going to start out with a campus plan renewal. Is there anyone from that group who needs to share screen and is wanting to present?
Yes, that would be me, Richard Williams.
Oh,
I will be sharing a screen for all three of us who are speaking.
excellent. So I will go ahead and make you a co-host.
Okay.
So you should be able to momentarily see the little green share button at the
Yeah.
bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Super. Whenever you're ready.
Uh, Good evening,
Um,
Commissioners. My name is Dennis Hughes, and at the outset, I want to apologize that I cannot get my camera to work. I'm using a temporary laptop that is not cooperating. So I hope you can hear me. I'll take even less time than I was planning to, but I'm Land Use Counsel for the Center for Hellenic Studies, and I want to introduce Zoe Lathis, who is the Executive Director of the Center, and then and Richard Williams has introduced himself. He's the architect leading the charge for the campus plan renewal for for the center. The campus plan, well, the Center for Hellenic Studies has been subject to a campus plan review and approval dating back to 1961 and has been periodically renewed by the Board of Zoning Adjustment and more recently by the Zoning Commission. And it's up, the campus plan was last approved in August of 2015, so we're up for a renewal late this summer. And to that end, we have submitted a notice to neighbors within 200 feet of the campus. We did that back on February 11th, and I believe you all received, the ANC received a copy of that as well. And our intention is we're certainly delighted to meet with you this evening and share a little bit of an insight into the campus as well as plans for the next 10 years. And then we'd like to file our application later this month in hopes of getting a hearing before the Zoning Commission in June or July. So with that said, I'm glad to discuss any process questions you might have, but let me turn it over to Zoe and let her share with you a little bit about the history and what goes on at the center. Zoe?
Great.
this is Richard. Can I just make sure, are people seeing the satellite image on the screen? I want to make sure that is up as Zoe starts
We,
to speak.
we can only see like the top of your screen that has the tabs of everything.
Oh, no. Okay, one second. Let me. How about now?
It's the same, Richard.
Oh, no. I wonder what I am doing wrong. Hmm. Let's go back.
They've added far too many sharing options, in my opinion, and experience. So,
It says I'm screen sharing, so now I'm opening up the PDF and it's full screen on mine. Are you all not seeing the full screen?
no, we're not seeing the PDF,
Uh,
still the Chrome tab. I think if you unshare and then reshare,
okay,
um,
I'm going to stop share and then try again. About now.
Yes.
yep, we can see it.
Okay,
Thank
great. Thank you, everybody. Sorry about that. Sorry, Zoe.
No worries. Good evening to all. I'm very happy to be here tonight and be able to share if a little bit of information about the Center for Hellenic Studies, where I serve as executive director. As Mr. Hughes mentioned earlier, the Center for Hellenic Studies has been active in operation since the early 60s. And We have been, and our location has been since that time here at the 6.5 acres at Whitehaven Street, Northwest. In essence, and as you see from the aerial picture, we have one main building, which is our library building. And the Center for Hellenic Studies is, in essence, a research center in the humanities, and it operates around its library, and the library collection focuses on all disciplines surrounding ancient Greek civilization. The library collection itself started from personal collections of some Harvard University professors and has been growing ever since. And at this point, the collection is about 75,000 volumes, all housed in this main building. One of the main activities surrounding this library is our residential fellowship program. It's a program that is funded through our endowment. We operate under the auspices of Harvard University. We are an arm of Harvard University located here in DC. And our residential fellowship program is in essence allows us to give a scholarship or to give scholarships to a cohort of about 11, 12 researchers at a time, and give them maximum access to the collection. So the campus is organized around, very much designed and organized around this residential experience. And you see some structures there that are the residences of these 11 or 12 scholars. They are in residence in our facility for a period of about 4 months. In the fall, 4 months, or in the spring, and in the summer, we have a shorter residency of about a month. In addition to our residential fellows who are in residence on campus, we do welcome readers who come from local institutions and can consult our collection. So these are readers from different universities, and as well as readers who come and travel to DC to consult our library. Their residency is normally, 2 to 5 days sometimes, the persons that come and travel. So we're able to accommodate some guests as well. It's a very peaceful environment. For the most part, it's very quiet. We do offer some a little bit more public outreach programming, mainly resources for educators. We have some workshops that are offered to like teachers and different levels, K through 12 sometimes level. We also at times and mainly in the summer host some small scale conferences and workshops. Our capacity is normally around 25 or so, 26 or so participants during the time of the conference. This is in essence part of our activities. We do foster research. We're also very interested in publications. These are parts of activities that don't require a physical presence, but they are part of our workings.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Richard, if you could
Yeah,
jump right in with the planning.
I will jump in. I'd like to show a few additional photographs, but starting with this particular aerial satellite view, I think you all know we're, I believe, at the sort of southern part of your jurisdiction. Whitehaven Street is a one-way street, which, not one way, but it dead ends coming up from Mass Avenue to the east. And the location, the gate to the center is located at the very top of that dead-end street. And there is a quiet sort of drive that sort of comes between a series of the houses and arrives at the central administration building, which houses most of the library, the fellows, studies, and administrative offices. The rear of the 6-acre campus includes a director's residence and some sort of shared apartments. You'll be able to sort of see what this looks like. This is not to be sort of facetious, but this is sort of the public face of the center. Whitehaven Street is actually fairly invisible because of tree planting, some bamboo. So it doesn't have a major presence on the street the way, a typical larger collegiate campus might be. Entering the center, there's a very sort of bucolic drive that terminates in the main administration building, but there are a series of single family and sort of duplex housing for the fellows that Zoe mentioned that flank either side of the drive. This is a closer view to the administration building, housing the library and offices and studies. This is a view of the director's residence at the rear of the campus, and this is sort of what we're going to be focusing on in discussing some of the new planning ventures in the updated campus plan. This is the rear of the administration building, which sort of is a two-story building as it descends a hill. For the most part, you can probably see the center is a sort of ridge top, and it has a lot of trees, and it is bounded to the south by Dumbarton Oaks Park, or that sort of leg of Rock Creek Park, and we're looking south towards the park right now. This is then a fairly simple diagram of the last campus plan from 2015 to today, 2025. And you see in the diagram a series of new additions that were proposed then in the last renewal, none of which have actually been done in the past 10 years. It's been a period of some, fairly quiet time at the center. But they consisted of a series of screen porches to the rear of some of the residences. And then importantly, an annex coming off of the administration building, anticipating the growth of the library that Zoe Loftus mentioned. And so this is sort of building A, which is a wing growing out of the administration building that's pretty much flanking the property line on the south and looking into Dumbarton Oaks Park. During the 2015 campus plan, we also anticipated a small sort of facility for sort of facility storage, some additional parking. It was about 1,000 square foot structure. This also has not been built. So I'd like to now sort of forward to the current plan, which is under consideration, that we're presenting to you. And you'll see there's quite a bit more information on this plan. But I'd really call your attention once again to the orange. These are the only new buildings that are potentially going to be realized in this coming 10-year time frame. And they consist of some small single-story additions to a couple of the houses, converting them to duplexes to accommodate a few more fellows that are anticipated for the residential fellowship program. These are very consistent with the architecture and the scale that you've seen in the photograph coming up the entry drive. In addition to the annex that was proposed and approved in the 2015 plan, we're attempting to now create a little bit more of a new quadrangle, sort of turning the rear of the sort of 6-acre campus to have a little bit more of an academic and activities focus. So we are proposing about a 7,500 square foot sort of single-story building with a walkout basement that would be forming the opposite side of the sort of new quadrangle that leads to the director's residence. And that would house um, a refectory and sort of a kitchen, which would move out of this corner of the administration building, and a sort of gym and facilities storage on the lower level of this sort of really 1.5-story building. And by freeing up that corner, it actually enables the library to grow contiguously into the new annex that was approved in 2015. In terms of circulation, uh, we have worked with the center to devise a series of footpaths that are going to tie this new sort of quadrangle together. And then importantly, creating a new sort of offshoot of the entry drive, coming down a hill and then coming to a new surface parking lot that would sort of free up this part of the campus to become more sort of pedestrian friendly and a little less, impacted by the parking of the cars. So we have a very low impact as far as anybody, passing by on Whitehaven Street. Really, none of this is really visible from public space. Um, but it is change, and we feel it's change that is sort of consistent with the very low density and sort of low height um, nature of the campus as it exists. And I think it's fully consistent with, the zoning of the neighborhood itself, which you probably know also has a couple of single-family residences, but for the most part, they are really bounded by foreign embassies, Denmark to the west, Italy to the east, um, Brazil down the street. Help me out, Zoe. What do we also have here? We have,
Denmark, Sri Lanka, and Poland.
yeah, okay, Poland, exactly. So it's a very fitting use. We think these are relatively modest um, new sort of improvements to the campus. But we hope that, this information is understandable. I certainly can answer any questions, or Dennis and Zoe can answer any questions.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And thank you all for joining us. I would like to get to those questions because we do have a pretty packed agenda this evening. So you actually answered the first one I had, is what's actually bordering here. And if you've reached out to your neighbors.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. And then now open it up to commissioners and committee members. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Rick?
I do. First of all, thank you for this presentation, and it looks like a thoughtfully done plan. I just wanted to focus in on the building marked as 3, the academic
Sure.
annex, as you pointed out, was included in the last previously approved plan, and you said note revised footprint. Could you just
Right. Yeah.
maybe go back to the prior slide or explain how the footprint differs?
Okay. Good question. Thank you. We have been working with we've actually been working with the center for a very long time, but in the past year or so, we have been exploring um, some of their programmatic needs, and it afforded us the opportunity to do sort of a test fit of how their program within the administration building might be best allocated, with some moves, some changes. And in the act of doing that exercise, um, including sort of studying the core that would be necessary, some mechanical space, um, we came to a little more precision in terms of what that footprint would be. We're not pretending, and I'm sure at this stage of the game, we're not pretending to really be doing schematic design or concept design in any way, shape, or form. But we've done enough of a look that we're fairly confident about this footprint and the kind of radial geometry that we feel, and we studied this in any number of ways, including modeling. We feel the new space that is formed with the director's residence kind of at the end of that space, that the radial forms the footprint, which is well sort of shy of a significant heritage tree that is in that location, all works.
Great.
Should this project go forward, I'm sure you're all aware, we have to go through the special exception process, and there would be rigorous review through the Fine Arts Commission back to you and all other stakeholders. But this is a more refined look at that important addition to this
Yeah.
fairly self-contained building.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, thanks. And maybe it's just based on the sketch, but it actually looks like your radial design puts just a little more buffer between the building and Rock Creek Park. And I don't know whether that's your intention, but that would be a positive development, I would think.
It is, yeah. That was part of the reason.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's important to point out that this is just the plan, and when there's actual projects, we'll be able to see actual.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
any other commissioners? Jay?
Great, thank you for that presentation, Richard. Really interesting.
Sure.
I'm interested in the kind of color coding. I note that the orange areas are kind of a new proposal, and the blue ones are what was previously approved. So, this new proposal, would this be in addition to what you all had already gotten approved, or would this be kind of instead of the previously approved construction? I know that you mentioned the previously approved construction hadn't actually started yet.
That's a good question as well. There is kind of Zoe, you may want to jump in on this, but there's kind of a sequencing here where in order to actually expand the library collection in a contiguous way, it actually is important to move out some of the program that's acting as kind of a bottleneck in this corner of the administration building. So it would be logical that this would actually be done first to enable this to happen in a reasonable way. That's a logical thing. I'm not sure it's something we've really nailed down with the client in terms of that precise sequence and strategy, but that is part of our thinking.
Well, I'm sorry, just to clarify, thank you, Richard, but in terms of what we're requesting in this campus plan renewal, it would be both the blue and the orange.
Oh, yes.
It's not either.
or.
It's not replacing.
No.
It's both. This plan is just intended to differentiate for our narrative, so you understand what's new from 2015. But it is all of the above.
Excellent. Thank you for that clarification.
Great. Any other commissioners or committee members? And then we'll open it up to anyone else that's joined us this evening and has any questions. All right, anyone from the community, you can raise your virtual hand or jump on screen, and the raise hand feature is there at the bottom of your little toolbar on the Zoom. All right. Seeing and hearing none, thank you all. And then when you have your hearing date, do you have a hearing date yet?
No, we have yet to file, so we
Okay.
won't have a hearing date probably for another month.
Okay. Yeah. So as soon as you know when that hearing date is, that's when we would put it on the ANC agenda for that month to get that timing right. So we're not moving too fast with giving you all comments in official resolution form.
I totally understand and appreciate that. The zoning regulations require us to make a good faith or the best, most, I don't have the verbiage in front of me, but an effort to attend a meeting of the ANC prior to filing the application, but understanding that it's hard to do something with a presentation when you don't have a case number, you don't have a formal application. So
Right.
we'll note that for the zoning commission, and we'll be glad to return in hopefully May.
Great. Thank you so much.
I have I'm sorry, it's a dumb question, but we're not returning to the committee. We're going to the full ANC for our next visit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you so much.
I will stop sharing then.
Great.
And we will leave.
Thank you very much.
Very
I mean,
good.
Wow.
You're
Thank
welcome to
you.
continue to join. All right.
Thank
Our
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is an ABCA application for retailers Class CX multipurpose, licensed at 3426 Connecticut Avenue, which is the Uptown. So I will see if Tati and Sandro, are you guys on this evening?
Yep, we're here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
You guys-
having.
Sorry?
Thank you for having us.
So if you guys have something to present, I can make you co-host to share your screen, or if you just want to share out what you guys are thinking, in this
Sorry, go
in the
ahead.
process and project, you can also have the floor and go that way.
Thank you. I think this is our second time on this meeting, so we're really excited to be back. We finally got our placards approved, so I think this is what prompting this conversation. We don't have anything to present this evening, and I apologize for that. We just kind of confirmed our attendance, but appreciate having us on this call. As previously discussed, our core mission for the Uptown Theater will focus on new cinematic experiences. And we're excited to bring this gem of a theater back to its glory. We're still working through the plans and most majorly through major electrical upgrades through Pepco. That has been the biggest hurdle. But we're moving. It's slow, but surely we're moving through things.
Great. And on your application, I just wanted to make sure that this is accurate. So the nature of the operation is multi-purpose establishment that will serve as a cultural art center for immersive art, performance, and theatrical experiences. Seating capacity of 25 and a total load occupancy of 350. Is that seating capacity correct?
No, that sitting capacity was just for the contemplated bar area.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But in the latest designs, they're looking to make it even easier free flow, but that's more for that lounge bar area. So that was limited to that.
Okay. Because I just wanted
Full
to.
capacity we're looking at was, I think it's It's between we're doing the studies, but it's between 300 to 500. I believe the latest one for the Uptown Theater was 800. So, but we're definitely looking to reduce it to create a more personalized experience.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, we have a 10-month-old and we have our dinner time.
Sorry. Yeah,
So-
no, we've had those that number be wrong in the past, and it did cause problems later down the road. So
I apologize for
gotta be
screaming in the
more-
background.
and I'd rather be, sure that it wasn't a typo.
Yeah.
So any other commissioners or committee members have questions at this time?
Sure, I do. I have a couple questions. First, thanks for this and good to see you both again. And I think the community is excited by your concept for the Uptown. So to follow up on Commissioner Paggett's question, the 25 seats or so is for the bar or cafe area. And I know that your concept's still being developed, but what would you anticipate at this point as being the likely range for the theater seating?
So we're working through it. We're looking between 300 to 500. And the reason why we're working through it is that there are just different hurdles that need to be overcome based on the capacity.
And that's the biggest reason why we don't want to present something that is gonna be like, not complete. So
Yeah.
still a lot of studies being done.
But it seems like you anticipate that there will be a theater with seating.
Oh, absolutely,
Correct.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And then one other question on the subject license. So do you anticipate that the bar will be kind of a standalone operation? Would it be open when the theater is not, or
No, they coexist together. It's part of one experience.
Exactly.
okay, thank you.
Think of any movie theater, right? Like when you grab a glass of-
Concession stand, yeah.
you grab a glass of wine or beer or a cocktail and just go to your seat and experience the cinema. That's pretty much what we're aiming for.
Or you go to Kennedy Center, you have the satellite bars out there, except we'll have more of a there existing.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions from commissioners or committee members? All right, anyone from the general public? Alrighty. So, do you guys anticipate having any of these plans viewable before your hearing date for ABCA?
When is that hearing day?
Ooh, isn't in here. I feel like it's not until the end of May, but it's on the placard if anyone really wants to go look at it.
I don't know, but I think so. Yeah, we're really
Yeah,
really
we're
close.
we're very close to it. We're just
Yeah.
we're at so going back to the seats, we're at 300 at the moment. We're just trying to see if we can expand to a little more while we're trying to figure out the PEPCO situation. So we should be able to have it.
Yeah, totally. We pretty much there to kind of share. It's not fully cooked yet, I just hate to present something that is like half baked,
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And you're currently not asking for any summer garden space or any outdoor.
No.
Okay.
I wish. I
know.
I wish you can build like a rooftop or something, but no, not for this.
Not at
time.
this time. Okay. Cool. All right. Not seeing or hearing any other questions. I really appreciate you guys joining us this evening and moving this project forward with all that's going on in the rest of your world.
Yes.
Thank
Same
you.
here. It's slowly but surely. We, step by step, we're getting there, and we're really excited about the project, and we can't wait to share more information. And it will be a great addition to the neighborhood for sure. Yeah,
Great.
super excited.
So are we. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evenings.
Thank
you.
you. You have a great one.
Great.
Bye.
All right. Up next, we have another ABCA application for retailer's Class C restaurant at 2619 Connecticut Avenue. Yours Cafe. The nature of the operation is a new Class C restaurant with indoor seating capacity of 98, a summer garden with 28 seats, and also alcohol carryout and delivery endorsement, holiday extension of hours endorsement, and entertainment endorsement to provide live entertainment and dancing inside of the premises. So I believe we have Jeff Jackson with us this evening. Jeff?
Yes.
Super.
Yes. How are you? And I have the owner available as well.
Great. Do you guys need to present anything or you just want to speak to your...
Speak to it.
Great. Go ahead.
Yes. Basically, it's going to be a full service restaurant, same type of restaurant that was there previously. Hours of operation are the same. We're going to be serving food and basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout. The entertainment is just for rental purposes if somebody wanted to have a birthday party there, but entertainment will not be provided nightly. It's only on demand if somebody want to have a birthday party of some sort like that. And we
Great.
hope to have karaoke at some point.
Yeah, I know that entertainment endorsement is required even if you wanted to have bingo with a microphone. So
Yes.
fully get it. Like, rather go through the process one time and
Yes.
not multiple times. And we appreciate that on our end too, because
You
Yeah.
know, really, restaurants right now is having a difficult time surviving.
yeah, totally. And thank you for joining us this evening and also wanting to come into the neighborhood. So with that, I'll open it up for questions from commissioners and committee members.
And matter of fact, we purchased the building next door too, and we putting a restaurant over there.
Awesome. That's good to hear because I was sad to see that space be empty.
Yeah, that's going to be steak and seafood though.
Ooh, nice. All right, Adam, go ahead.
I just want to welcome you guys to the neighborhood. I'm very excited. I am not the best karaoke, but I will definitely be there. And I'm sorry if I make all my neighbors' ears bleed, but you know what? To each their
Hey,
own. But very excited to welcome you guys to the neighborhood. We can't wait for you to open.
it's all in fun.
Absolutely.
Great. John?
I just wanted to basically say the same thing, not about the karaoke, but we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And I will stop in often, and I look forward to it.
Thank you.
John, we could do a duet one day if you really wanted to.
There you go.
No way.
All right. Any other comments from commissioners or committee members? Any other comments from anybody that's joined us from the general public? All righty. Well, we will let you know next steps, but usually the commissioner who has your area is not present this evening, but we do record these meetings, so he'll be able to watch it and get notes from the rest of us who have joined. And then at our public meeting later this month, unless we hear complaints from the community or concerns, we would put together a letter of support, put on consent so we don't make you come back here over and over again. We try to be as accommodating to new businesses coming into the neighborhood as possible. So really appreciate you joining us this evening and look forward to when you're able to share more about the steak plate.
I appreciate it. And you know, I used to head up the enforcement division for ABCA for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in the day when
Well,
Fred McCalley was just general counsel.
Gone over to
thank
the
you for your
dark side, huh?
Yes.
Very nice. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So we had one addition to our agenda this evening, which is Gina from Buffalo and Bergen, who would like to present a concept that they have for enclosing the summer garden area on the right side of this structure. So Gina, do you want to make or have you be a co-host to present something, or do you have somebody else here?
I do. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. We brought Warren Wexler. He's our designer and architect. So we're gonna, can he share the screen so you guys can see our plan?
Sure can. Let me just make him a co-host real quick. Where'd you go, Warren? Ah, there you go. Make co-host, make co-host. All right, so you should see the green share
Yep,
button.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. Gina, do you want to say anything else, or you rather me take it over?
You can do it and then I'll jump in if I have to.
Okay. All right, everybody. As Gina said, my name is Warren. I'm the designer for Buffalo Bergen. We do have a conceptual deck here that I can go through and show everybody. Buffalo Bergen opened recently the interior of the establishment, and just to kind of dial everyone in on the location, we're in Sam's Park and Shop at the corner of Ordway and Connecticut. There is an outdoor patio that is existing. To be clear, we're not interested in increasing the size of it. We want to use what we already have, but essentially enclose what is there. So here's a kind of a street view of the side of that building, and the patio that is on the side already has a concrete pad and a railing around it. So our intention is to essentially create something like this, that would have a black storefront that would be contiguous with the already existing building. We are lovers of plants, so a green roof is something that we're really interested in putting in place, and really create a four-season patio, not only to enclose and keep sound from the community, but also protect the investment and what's on the inside. So tables and chairs, a mobile bar outside to provide product to clientele, lights, heaters, fans, something to just really create a nice experience on the exterior of the building for the community. So here's an overall plan that shows kind of the added seating and the layout. And I'm moving through this quickly, so if anybody would like to go back to slides afterwards, we can. We do intend for all of the doors that you see in this rendering to be able to be opened so that the patio can, on a nice day, be completely open air and allow that breeze to come through. But then in the winter, of course, can be closed. And then here's a couple of sections to just give you an idea of how this structure would be built and connected to the building. Here's a roof plan that shows kind of skylights, lighting. We will have some self-sufficient air conditioning units in there to provide air when it's definitely hot in the DC summers in August, as you're all aware of. And then here's kind of a continuation of the materials, and the types of color palette, et cetera, that we're working with here. Now, we do know that this building is in a historic overlay district and is contributing to that. So there will be a historic preservation review of this. And there's also a zoning adjustment that will need to be gone through. So we're really looking for everybody in the community to get behind us and want this for the community so that we can provide an additional experience. I think that is it. Yes.
That was awesome. Thank you, Warren.
You're very welcome.
One thing that I first of all, I'm so happy to be part of Cleveland for our community. Everybody has been really wonderful. I love my peeps on Ordway. They've been like super supportive as well. I wanted to do this because I just want to provide a place where you can, sit outside and it's like really beautiful and it puts a little bit more green back on the street. So the green roof, which to me was important to have like a little bit more greenery since they took down all of the city took down the trees that were on the side of the patio. And then for part of the rat mediation, they have put stones, if you've noticed, all over the walks and everything. And underneath there's an entire grading system so that the rats cannot come back. So it's not just stones, there's like grates and plates and everything under there. So I thought it would be really pretty to have like this roof. So have like a climbing rosemary and climbing thyme, which is rats don't like, birds don't like it either, actually, but it's really great for our pollinators and bees. So it would be really nice to see some kind of like butterfly action or something up there. So I think that's all I got. That's what I got.
Great. No, thank you so much for doing this and for, moving into the neighborhood here. I'm glad that it's going well. And I know that you guys can definitely use more seats because every time I've tried to go up there, it's just packed and chaotic. But that's usually on the weekends. So
The weekdays are a lot easier. We're not increasing the size of like our seating that we already have for our patio.
yeah.
We don't want to do that. We have an ABCA, which you can see in the drawing, and it's this beautiful mobile bar that I had made. It took 13 months. It was delivered from Italy in 1964 ABCA, and it was completely retrofitted. Warren, can you show him a picture of it if you have one?
I don't think I have
You
one in
don't,
there.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was retrofitted and turned into this beautiful bar, and it was quite expensive. And really, it needs a way to be locked up because it won't be there the first night I try to leave it there. So, because you could drive it away if you wanted to. It's an electric little vehicle, and it's very cool. And it's going to be the back bar. So instead of it being like a regular bar, you'll have this experience of this like little mobile unit, and it'll look much like how it is in like more like the beaches in Italy that have like those little like lemonade stands and stuff. And I want to do this thing for the kids, which are called exploding lemonades. And they're actually done with fresh lemon juice, like fresh lemonade and soda water. And you put a little bit of like almost like a baking soda in it, and like it's all fizzy, and you drink them, and the kids are gonna love it because like I feel like we build all these restaurants lately and we forget like people have children, right? I have two little girls that are always like, what about me? So I'm like, oh, okay. And then we were in Italy and we had this, and I take it for granted because my family's from there. And they're like, Mom, why didn't you do that? And I'm like, oh, right. So then Warren came up with this idea, and this whole thing started, and it took 13 months. And now we're like, we need to make a house for it so it doesn't get stolen. But there's like a building restriction line and obviously the historic, which we only thought went to Target, but it goes the full way to the sidewalk. So we will be presenting. So I just wanted to get support from the ANC and the community so that I could go forward, knowing that I'm not going to get pushback at this point.
Yeah, I think that this is quite an improvement in terms of the contributing structure than the sad slab of concrete that's currently there. So, I mean, I don't see how one wouldn't be like, this is better than that.
Agreed.
And I think it's so fitting and proper to have a type, well, mobile type bar in a Sam's Park and shop within
You
his
know,
the parking lot's also historic too, so that's even more fun.
Janelle, I didn't make that connection until right now, but 100% I'll be writing that down for my presentation for historic. I'm like, it's mobile.
It's like the most fitting and proper thing for the Sam's Park and shop and the historic parking lot. Which I have comments on parking lot too, but anyways, not your problem. And I do like the idea about the fizzy drinks for the kids, especially in like this zoo-ish neighborhood that we get a lot of visitors and stuff. So
I had my first farmer's market this weekend, and now I understand how many kids. So I was like, all right, let's do it, right? So it was good. It was good. It was a learning curve for me about just how many children. I handed out a lot of orange juices and stuff because they were all they're a little hangry. So I was like, oh, have an orange juice, you're gonna be fine. It's coming, I promise.
all right, Adam.
I just want to echo what Janelle says. I am obsessed with this. I think this looks absolutely amazing. It looks better than what is there. It feels like you've been transported to Italy from what I'm seeing here, and I'm all for that as well. So I hope you have no pushback at all. I think this is absolutely great.
Thank you. Warren designed it. I didn't do it. I just said I like the color green.
Somebody has to run it, and that's not me.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, no questions. Just Gina, just to say thank you for coming and presenting. To echo what the others are saying, this looks great, and thanks for moving into the neighborhood.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Glenn?
Hey, thank you again for moving into the neighborhood. Your food and drinks are amazing. I think this proposal looks like a great addition. Patios are nice, but being able to enclose it and use it all year and have it open during the summer and closed during the winter, I think is a great use. And if somebody steals your ape, I'm obsessed with them, but it's definitely not me.
We'll let you drive it, Glenn. You can take it for a
Awesome.
spin around the block.
Awesome.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm gonna let Kathy go since she's a member of the committee, and then Regina, you can go next, okay?
Well, Regina won't have too long to wait because I'm just piling on with the congratulations on this. I mean I've got to say to both Gina and Warren, the establishment looks wonderful. Love it. And this is great news. I mean, for some of the folks, I live down the street from you, but for some folks who, worry about, oh, if I'll get there and there won't be any place to sit, this really helps in an enormous way and, protects people from the sun, but you're still sort of outside. Couldn't be better. I mean, how wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for all the thinking and for the business.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I'm just going to add to that. Just as you know, I've enjoyed your patio several
Thank
times since
you.
it's open. So a lot of people from the Ordway Street crew is on. So just keep doing great things.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. That's why I love it up
Thanks for all
there.
the support.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to go somewhere else, right, Warren? We're gonna be like, nah,
I know.
get out of here.
Second Cleveland Park location, maybe.
I know, right? We're gonna do something else in Cleveland Park.
I mean, there's still a few spaces open in Woodley Park too. It's very similar crowd.
We saw. At my job every day, I'm always like, what is happening in the city right now? It's so sad and wonderful. There will be a rebirth and hopefully things will change. So
Really.
Well,
Tammy just pinged me in the chat that she wants to speak. So Tammy, can you unmute on your mobile, Tammy?
How about this? Does this work better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It's like when you try to use the headphones and they don't work. No, I'm just I'm calling in remote just to kind of say thank you to everybody, not only Gina and your thoughtful design, but to everybody on the ANC and all the neighbors for supporting. As somebody who kind of helped shepherd this over the last 2 years on the ANC, I know getting through city processes and commissions can be a headache sometimes, and I just really appreciate not only the ANC being such great partners to Buffalo and Bergen, but also all of my neighbors who are here. You're making my heart swell. Thank you.
Tammy, stop! I'm gonna cry.
I know, me too.
Oh my god, this is like the nicest ANC meeting ever.
All right. Any other community members or commissioners or committee members? All right. So, we will share with you if we get any other feedback or comments on this. In the interim of before you officially file with HPRB, BZA, and then we'll take those as they come. As soon as you file, let us know. So we can't act too early, otherwise they'll make us do it over again.
Yep.
It's like Goldilocks, I'm telling you.
Yeah. As soon as we get a file number, I'll share everything. I'll share it with everybody that I need to, and on the email. Janelle, is that it works? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's totally okay. And if hopefully we won't have to call you back, but we would post that to our next notice. And if we do get feedback or whatever, yes, then maybe we would need to have another presentation, which I think we would actually need to do because I didn't have you formally added to this agenda, but it will move faster once we have the case number and that date that you guys are gonna go before those boards. So
Okay.
Sounds good.
You got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for everybody's
Have a nice
time.
night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So I have no other surprise agenda items. Does anyone else have any other business for this evening's meeting? I feel like we got a lot done in an hour there and got a lot of information. So appreciate the time, the patience, and all of it. I have a fruit fly flying around. I'm now going to make it my mission for the rest of the evening to find it and kill it. So thank you all. Till next time. Bye-bye.